Hi, welcome to today's Yin Vin flow. For today's practice, you're going to want a bolster or a pillow from your bed, works just fine, and 2 blocks, shoe boxes, or a thick sturdy book will also work. So we are going to get started with the yin postures, which we're holding at about 70%, so we're going to do some prop work here to get us set up. First, take your block at its highest setting towards the top of your mat, and then about 6 inches in front of that, you're gonna take your block at its lowest. You might adjust it to your medium setting, but start at your lowest, about 6 inches in front of that. We're building a little yogi ramp. So setting up your bolster here, then your hips come to the back of the bolster, or the end of the bolster, and as you're ready, slowly start to lower down, adjusting here so you feel supported. Beautiful. Legs here can start extended long, if that feels best in your low back, or soles of the feet to the mat. We're taking a supported fish pose. So as you're ready, we're focusing on opening the chest. Elbows drop down towards the mat, close to the side body. Then again, taking whichever leg variation feels best for you. Give yourself a few moments here to adjust. And then settle yourself into stillness. Notice here if the mind's wandering. Just gently bring it back to your breath. And give yourself about 5 rounds of breath exactly where you are. When that's complete for you, encouraging yourself to move nice and slow. Palms press into the mat as you use your core to lift your upper body. Bringing soles of the feet to the mat if they're not already there. Just round forward here, forehead towards the knees. Few moments here. And then gently opening once more, I should say, lifting your head. Take those props off to the side. And then make your way down to a reclined position, nice and gentle here. Coming into a broken bridge. Soles of the feet press into the mat. Hip, shoulder, head, all supported here. And then we're gonna make our way to a supported bridge. You are welcome to bring either the bolster under your hips or the block under your hips. So I would suggest taking a lower setting than you typically do for supported bridge. So I usually have my block at a medium height. I'll have it at its lowest height here. If you typically have your block at the lowest setting, perhaps using the bolster instead, or if you're just looking for a little less sensation. Hands can rest on the belly if that feels nice and grounding. You can always extend your legs long. That can feel good in some bodies, but if it adds any extra low pressure to the low back, just walk your heels back in. Again, take your time. Allow yourself any of those little wiggly adjustments. And use your next few breaths to settle into stillness. Give yourself 3 more breaths right here. When that's complete, lift your hips just high enough to slide that block out from under your sacrum. And then pull your knees into your chest. Just pressing that low back into the mat. You can gently roll out the ankles here if that feels good, or even rock side to side. So again, challenging yourself to be nice and slow and gentle here. Make our way to a seat just to set up for our next shape. So we're setting up that same yogi ramp, but we are doing it at the bottom of the mat this time. So block at its highest setting towards the bottom of the mat, medium setting about 6 inches in front of it. Bolster is good to go, laying right on top. So you've got a little ramp here, and then your feet are on either side. Lowering down to a reclined position. So you'll scoot your sit bones so they're right up against the bolster. And then extend your right leg up towards the sky, bending your right knee over left, kind of like you're seated at a business meeting. And then take your left foot over the ramp to the other side. So this is our version of reclined shoelace, a supported version here. So make any adjustments that you need to. Now, if full shoelace is in your practice and you want to bring your hands to your ankles, holding either ankle with your hand, you are more than welcome to. This is just a little gentler version. Hands resting wherever is comfortable. Give yourself some time to settle in here. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Using your next inhale, right leg extends up towards the sky and then back to the mat. Left leg goes over to the other side of the bolster, back to that broken bridge shape. This time, left leg extends to the sky, bending your left leg over your right, like you're seated in a chair. Then right foot comes over the bolster, reclined, supported cow face on this side. Again, if full cow face is in your practice, you want to bring your hands to each ankle and take that version. You are more than welcome to. Find the shape that works for you, then settle in. 3 more rounds of breath right here. Then first, left leg unwinds, sole the foot back to the mat. Right leg comes to the other side. And then hug both your knees into your chest. Once again, low back presses into the mat. And then take your time, maybe rolling to one side or rock and roll to come back to a seated position. You can shift those props off out of your way. And then make your way to an easy seat, whichever leg you prefer in front, nice and comfortable here. Inhale to reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, right hand comes outside of right hip, side stretch to the right. Full breath here. Next inhale, come back to center. Exhale for the other side, left hand outside of that hip, right arm overhead. Full breath here. And come back to center, hands to the mat, and then make your way to a tabletop, however is comfortable. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale to drop your belly, lift your gaze for cow. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin for cat. Give yourself a few rounds of breath here, following that pace and that pattern, or adding in any other movement that feels good. Maybe some side stretches, looking back towards one hip and then the other. And when that's complete for you, come back to a neutral spine, tucking your back toes, sink your hips back for planters. Now this can be pretty intense on the soles of the feet. If it's too intense, you can always come to standing or bring your hands back to the mat. But I do want to encourage you to keep your toes tucked. Inhale, open your arms, heart pulls forward for cactus. Exhale, hands come back to prayer. Inhale, open for cactus. Exhale, back to prayer. 3 more rounds, your pace of breath. Inhale, open and squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, back together. Inhale, open. Exhale, back together. Just one more. Next breath, hands come to the mat, tapping out the tops of the feet on the mat. It's always an intense one for me, so releasing here. And then walk your hands forward about a handprint, tuck your toes, lift your hips for down dog. Pedaling out your dog here for just a moment. One heel down and then the other. Both heels reach towards the mat. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, bring right foot outside of your right hand. And then lower your back knee to untuck the toes. Right hand comes to the inside of that right knee. Gently press your hand into the knee, rolling to the blade edge of that foot. Opening your hip here for a moment. Next breath, release, sole the foot back to the mat, toes tucked to lift the back knee. Step back to down dog. Inhale, sweep left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it to the outside of your left hand. Lower the back knee, untuck the toes. Left hand comes to the inside of that knee. Rolling to the blade edge of the foot, just opening the hips here as far as is available for you. Next breath, sole the foot back to the mat, hand to the mat, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, step back to down dog. Inhale to bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up, maybe look up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale to half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank, toes or knees. Inhale here. Exhale all the way to the mat. Elbows graze the ribs. Untuck your toes, hands back by hips. Inhale, lift for locust. Squeeze your back body. Exhale, back to the mat. Inhale, press up to your plank, toes or knees. Exhale, hips up and back, down dog. Few rounds of breath here. Maybe you enjoy some stillness in the shape. Maybe you add some movement, pedaling out your dog. Or you can always take a tabletop or child's. Breathing here. Inhale, bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root through your feet, reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Interlacing all your fingers except for your pointer fingers. Reach up once more. Exhale, side stretch to the right, hips reach to the left. Inhale, pass through center. Exhale, other side. Inhale through center. Exhale to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center, release the grip. Exhale, cactus arms, heart lifts, elbows squeeze down. Inhale, extend up tall. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands. Step just your left foot back. Then spin your left foot parallel to the short edge of the mat, warrior two. Bringing the block inside of your right foot, arms at shoulder height. Inhale, both palms flip up, straighten your front leg, arms lift. Exhale, sink down. Inhale to straighten and extend. Exhale, lower down. Give yourself a few more rounds here. I always find that I need to inch my toes forward a bit more in this shape, so adjusting as you need to. Not rushing yourself. Pause next time you get back to that warrior two. Inhale, straighten your front leg, hips reach back, fingertips forward. Then right hand comes to the block, left arm opens to the sky, triangle pose. Even if you don't typically use a block here, I want to encourage you to use that block just to keep your chest lifted. Sometimes it can be really tempting to stretch to reach the floor thinking that's the best version of our pose. But really what we're hoping for is a long spine and an open chest. Breathing here. Pressing into both feet equally. Next breath, bend into that front knee to return back to your warrior two. And then cartwheel your hands to the mat, low lunge. Left hand stays planted, right arm opens to the sky, revolve, low lunge. Next breath, right hand back to the mat. Step forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale to half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, this time just right foot steps back. Warrior two on the other side. Again, that block inside of your front foot. Arms at shoulder height. Adjusting your base here first. Inhale, both palms flip up, straighten your leg, extend the arms. Exhale, sink to your warrior two. Inhale, lengthen and extend. Exhale, find warrior two. Few more rounds here, following your pace of breath. I had a teacher describe this as like you're pushing through water when you come down, just to stay a little more aware in the upper body. I think that helps. If you think that sounds ridiculous, you can just release it. Pausing next time you naturally come to that warrior two. Inhale, straighten your front leg, hips reach back, fingertips forward, hinge into your triangle. Again, focus here, long spine, open chest. So as much space between those right fingertips and your left fingertips as you can find. Really building that wingspan. Pressing into both feet, into the blade edges of both feet. Breathe here. Next breath, bend into your front knee to return to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands to the mat. Low lunge, right hand plants, left arm lifts. Revolve, low lunge. Next breath, left hand back to the mat. Step forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale to half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up, maybe look up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Plant your hands, step back to down dog, hips stay lifted. Inhale, lift your heels high off the mat. Exhale, bring your knees to the mat for child's pose. Knees as wide or as narrow as feels good for you. Inching your fingertips forward here for an active upper body to lengthen your side body. 2 full rounds of breath. As that's complete, walk your hands back into your body and then sweep your heels out from under your seat for a seated forward fold. Legs extend long in front of you. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips, then allow yourself to round forward. Again, hands might rest on calves or ankles or toes, not focusing on that too much, but focusing on pulling your heart towards your thighs. Breathe here. If you like the version where you bend your knees and bring your forearms under your knees, using the weight of your body to pull you into the shape, you're welcome to take that. 3 full rounds of breath. Next, inhale, slowly lift your upper body out of the shape. And then bend your knees, bringing both soles of the feet to the mat. Inhale, round forward, forehead to the knees, a little seated yogi hug here. Now checking in with your body. If it would feel good to end in Shavasana, you can start to make your way there. If you'd like to end in a seat, slowly lift your head, crown of the head reaches towards the sky. And then take an easy seat. Whichever leg you prefer in front. Eyes soft or closed. Gentle squeeze between the shoulder blades. Give yourself a few rounds of breath here. Keeping that awareness on your inhale and exhale. Maybe you notice the rise and fall in your chest. Maybe you notice that air coming in and out of the tip of your nose. If you'd like to stay in Shavasana or seated meditation, you are more than welcome to. If you're ready to close out your practice from a seated position, fingertips can reach towards the floor. Then flip your palms so palms face up towards the sky. Inhale, lengthen your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, draw your hands back to heart center. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Thank you for being part of this rad community. I hope you have a beautiful day.